Ciao Milanisti, it's your boy Kush in the Milan corner. Guys, the Charles de Ketelaere move is finally in its final stage as Paolo Maldini and Massara are expected to fly to Belgium on Wednesday to close this deal. And once the deal is done for the Belgian attacker, Milan's next profile is Hakim Ziyech. There's a 5 million loan with a 20 million buy option that has been put on the table. And Milanisti, we got Martino Puccia today to tell us which of these profiles and stories he thinks are real and which ones are rumor. In today's episode of Rumor or Real. Now Milanisti, before I kick off my conversation with Martino, of course I have to introduce you guys to our sponsor, the OneFootball app. OneFootball has been sponsoring the Milan corner for the past 2 months. I can't express how appreciative I am of these guys, but Milanisti, if you really want to appreciate a good football app, you gotta download the OneFootball app. Once you click the link in the description and download the OneFootball app, you can set AC Milan or whichever club you love as your home team. Once you do that, they push all content about that particular football, all breaking news stories. I found out about the fact that Maldini is flying to Belgium on Wednesday through the OneFootball app notification. So once again, guys, support the Milan corner, support OneFootball by clicking the link in the description and downloading the OneFootball app. You know, Paulo Dybala situation, for the whole time, Inter was being linked to them. A lot of Gazzetta articles about that. Then Milan kind of comes in out of nowhere. And now it takes like, what, 2 days for Roma to get this deal done? So like your first reaction to just the whole situation there?
It kind of felt like after the whole thing was said that Dybala wasn't going to Inter, it kind of felt like if he does want to stay in Italy, it's probably Napoli or Roma, and who knows what's going to happen with that. I didn't think Milan wanted him. I'm pretty sure the way the contracts are structured anyways, if they were to sign Dybala to that structured deal, it would actually cost more than CDK with the transfer and the contract. And there's like a whole bunch of things that you could do to read into that. But I mean, listen, it's an amazing coup for Roma. There's the release clause for 20 million euros after the first season. So if he does perform well, he stays healthy. Roma makes some money off of it potentially. If not, you still have Paulo Dybala for another 2 years. So I think it's a big boost for them. It's going to be interesting how they play Pellegrini. Maybe goes out wide. But overall, I think it's better for the league if it went down like that. So I don't mind it. It's cool.
Isn't it a little wild that the fact that this guy was like at one point in time tipped to be like the next Messi and all that, just the reputation that he was carrying, and then suddenly he's hardly has any interest, and eventually this is obviously not his first choice team.
Yeah, this is like it's probably his third choice, I guess. Who knows? I mean, probably in Italy for sure, but this is poor job by his agents. I mean, I've never, like, there hasn't been any catastrophic knee injuries. Like, he's missed time due to soft tissues and all this other stuff, and that's definitely worrisome with where his age is approaching. But 3-year deal, and it's heavily incentivized off of bonuses. So it's not even like it's strictly around, 6 million net flat. It's 4.5, and it goes up to 6. I think they play their hand terribly. They didn't realize that the number one option was financially a disaster. Like Inter's a mess. Like, it doesn't matter if, like, they got Lukaku, yeah, but it's a loan. It's a 10 million euro loan. It's not like, we're still making moves. They're still losing their best players. And I think that it was like 8 million net at one point from Juve was the offer in the fall of last year. And now we're here, 3-year deal with Roma, where it's basically half that and it goes up. So for me,
I guess that's pretty much why he was crying at the last match day, because he knew what's going to happen. Well, so for Milan, our attacker, I mean, he was linked to Milan as a central attacking midfielder, but the real profile that we've been linked with as a CAM is CDK. So latest reports are saying, I don't know how many times we've done this, like soon, but now it is that on Wednesday, Paolo Maldini and Massara are going to be going to Belgium to get this deal closed. Are you optimistic about this?
I'm optimistic about the deal in general. I think there still is always that chance that, hey, like if it doesn't close at a certain figure, he's off to Leeds, I guess. For me, the only issue with some people that want to compare it to Botman is Newcastle is legitimately a long-term great project, and at Botman's age, it was okay. Like, if they don't play European football within the first year, he'll still be like 23, 24. He's got plenty of time. With Leeds, they literally just staved off relegation, and it's not like they have this great new ownership that's state-owned Like it's still just a Premier League club with money to spend on top of the Rafinha sale. Who knows what Jesse Marsch will do and how long he'll stay there. For me, I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably the most confident out of any player that we're looking into or linked to at the moment. I think this one gets done. There's just too much to lose at this point because we're 25 days out or so from Milan playing. So, I mean, this is the perfect profile: versatility, age, experience in the Champions League, and the price isn't too insane from what I've seen. Anyways, it would be coming close to our records, but that doesn't say much.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned the whole Botman thing, right? So the other profile that was obviously being linked alongside Botman was Renato Sanchez. Now, that was very confusing because for the first 3-4 months, we heard that Milan has agreed personal terms with him, and then we start hearing that, okay, no personal terms with him, but there's an agreement with Lille. Now we have to work personal terms with him. Just the whole back and forth of that, like how bizarre and annoying.
I think there is validity to Lille and PSG not agreeing to something, because if that was like, PSG can pay anytime they want if they really did, and maybe there's a domino effect with Wijnaldum getting sold as well, or just loaned out so they could shed some wages, because Campos doesn't operate like it's complete monopoly money. He's actually kind of operated a lot smarter than any PSG director, especially Leonardo. I'd say this: I don't think he's going to join. I kind of don't want him to at this point. It's tiring. The saga's ridiculous. The salary just keeps going up, and it's risky. It really is. Like the amount of injuries that he's had, I would have been way more comfortable with Dybala, because Renato Sanchez at his age and the amount of times that he has to get hurt and sit out matches is not worth the pay at this point. I'm not going to be upset if he comes. I think out of all the players we're linked to, I think Sanchez is at the bottom of the list of ones I think would get done.
Now, the one person that has renewed with Milan is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm not obviously not a long-term move, but more of a locker room presence that Ibrahimovic turns out to be.
Yeah, it's good. I guess just make the money back in the shirt. Say like keep Puma happy. Listen, it's good for branding. It's good for all these other things. I'm not too worried about it. And again, like, we don't play from mid-November up until January 4th. So even if he's missing that time, he's really not missing time for Milan in that sense. Again, we start earlier than usual, but third choice option at 40 maybe just helps us win Coppa Italia if we could get that done. Just aim towards that, start him in those types of games. I think there's still some use to it. But this has got to be the last one, because I don't know what either side wants to do with it. Like, you can't play on a torn ACL like that. Like, it's ridiculous. It's the most absurd thing, and it's just not good for his body. He should just go back to Sweden after this. I appreciate everything, but listen, 1.5, we got a 41-year-old in October, and then Giroud's age, and then Origi's still relatively young. We have to start that transition now.
The one player that we're hoping to bring in, the conversation kind of died off after some time, was regarding Hakim Ziyech. Initially, it was all about CDK and Ziyech. Now, we haven't really heard anything about the Ziyech front, but there were some reports today that said that Milan might be looking at a 5 million loan with an option to buy him for 20 million. Again, I do those rumor or real episodes, but this is really, I'm just pushing this on you.
Yeah, I think so. Just the only outside chance I would see at this point is just United, if Ten Hag wants to push that, but it's still an odd situation with the winger role there. Like, do they want Antony long term? Is Chelsea okay with doing that? I'd say for Milan, it just makes sense with the structure, the relationship between the two clubs that's already at hand. I know it's a transfer of ownership. Todd Bowley's doing everything in terms of negotiating. I just think they're fully focused on CDK. And we've kind of seen that. The only other moves were just pretty much layup moves. It's Caldara gone. It's, these guys loaned out, and then Zlatan wasn't going to go anywhere else. So I think it's just full frontal on that. And if CDK is done this week, then I would assume to see Ziyech moved within the next week or two, because if the team was willing and able to pay that, they would have done it by now, because what's the holdup? You know what I mean? So I kind of see that one as a good chance of happening, but again, there's no guarantees.
The whole Botman thing didn't work out. Milan was looking at about 30 million deal for him. Now this guy might come in on loan. Similar situation to, I guess, Fikayo Tomori in some ways. Obviously not the same profile, but something similar. Loan with potential buy option. Do you think that's the right move, that we didn't overspend on someone like Botman and are going for a little bit more of a fiscally conservative move?
I liked it being one or the other, if that makes sense. I don't mind someone that you see for like over a half a decade in Botman, because that makes sense, where Ketelaere is like Kalulu, like sure, and then you would assume Tomori eventually gets sold a few years down the road. So you kind of need that validity, like, you know, to solidify that role, because what are we looking at? Gabbia? I don't think Gabbia's ready for that type of position. I think he desperately needs to go out on loan for that. Tangana, it's like there's some talent there, but it's not of the greatest. You would also be led to believe that Antonio Conte doesn't want a defender like that. I might say something about him, but maybe he doesn't fit in a 3-back formation. Maybe he's better in a 4-back. But we'll see. Again, it's kind of low risk, and that's fine with the profiles that we have going on. It's not the biggest need, in my opinion. I think there's plenty there, and we've proven it because we just won a title by barely conceding goals the last few months.
Okay, so you've probably seen some of my previous episodes where I have a whole...
All of them.
Unlikely. There we go. Rumor, unlikely, possible, and real meter. So what I'll do is I will throw 8 different scenarios at you, and you tell me if these are rumor, unlikely, possible, or real. Okay, all right. So we'll start off with the first one. So Milan wanted Dybala.
Rumor, just for clicks.
Renato Sanchez goes to PSG.
Likely. Possible, right? Is that the one?
Possible, yes. Hakim Ziyech to Milan.
Real.
Adli has a Tonali style 21-22 season.
Yes.
On the scale.
On the scale, I know. I'm sorry, because it's just yes or no question. Real.
All right. Wijnaldum to Milan is possible.
Nah, that's rumor.
Giroud scores more than 10 goals.
All competitions or?
All competitions. Next season.
Possible.
Pobega starts more than 10 games.
Unlikely.
Rebic has more goals than Ibrahimovic.
Yes. It was real.
Yeah? You think? You'd hope so, man. Guy had 2 goals. 2 or 3 goals this season. He's got more than 10 every season, so yeah, you'd hope so. There you have it, Milanisti. Thank you so much to Martino Puccio for joining us for today's episode. Guys, make sure to follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. He has a bunch of content from all over the world of football. He puts out all these informative reels that teach me about the world of football. So make sure to follow him on Twitter and on Instagram. And make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification so you can watch the Milan Corner videos as soon as I upload them. And guys, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at the Milan Corner. And as always, Forza Milan, grazie mille e ciao tutti!